attention for the next 5 to 7 minutes. If you have heard any of my speeches over the past 4 years, there's several things that you know about me. Among them are that I am a book lover, and when I read a good book, I want to tell everybody about it. The second thing you probably know about me is that I really have a passion for speaking about mental health, normalizing talking about your mental health, and advocating for mental health. And the third thing you probably know is that there are twin 7-year-old boys who are absolutely my world. Tonight, I am excited to give you a speech that is the Venn diagram at the very center of all three of those things. It turns out this is a fairly punctual speech for me to give, or at least poignant on the calendar, as today I learned that May is actually National Mental Health Awareness Month. And as we get ready for May, I would like to introduce all of you to a book called The Color Monster. There are sequels to this book, and there's even a board game version you can play at home. But I'm not here to Billy Mays this, and wait, there's more. I'm here to talk to you about this book, and about what this book can mean for you, and can mean for the people around you in your life. Friends, I love this book, because it is written for children, but the message is resonant for adults. It is all about understanding your emotions, learning to talk about your emotions, and normalizing how to deal with feelings and emotions and mental states that maybe don't make sense for you. It does it in a way that makes sense for small children. I was reading this book with my kids when they were 3 and 4 years old, and they were understanding the concept. We still read it now. I'll be reading it probably until I'm in an old folks home losing my mind. I'm going to walk you through a few of the highlights, and then when I'm done with that, I'm going to pass around this visual aid. That's kind of a grown-up version of the Color Monster that I've been using with my therapist, that a very special person in my life got me a physical part of, and I'll talk to you about how to use that as well. But the Color Monster really is all about a monster who's experiencing issues with his emotions. And he has to figure out how to sort them out. And just like us, when you're overwhelmed with emotions, it can be rather difficult to deal with any one of them. And so throughout the book, the Color Monster has to learn how to separate his emotions so he can deal with the emotion that really needs dealt with. And he learns things like happiness being yellow. And happiness shines like the sun and twinkles like the stars. If you have a particularly ad-libbing daddy, he might add something to the effect of happiness is like peeing your pants. Everybody around you can see the outer effects, but only you can feel the warmth it brings. Not actually part of the book, though. When we get to this, we talk about sadness. And sadness is the color blue. It's lonely like a rainy day. It washes over you like the sea. Again, sadness, not easy to talk about. The color blue, very easy to visualize. Being washed over like the sea, something I think we can all relate to. We continue and we get to more and more emotions that maybe are a little bit tougher to talk about, like anger. Anger is red in the book. And it says a very simple thing about anger. When you're angry, life feels unfair. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's hard for me to say that I'm angry. It was really hard for my 3-year-olds to say that they were angry. But something that they're still really good at is saying, "It not fair." And I say that a lot too. The color black in this book, or brown, represents fear. And fear, when you're afraid, you feel small, tiny. You want to figure out how you can hide away. And the last one that it talks about is the color green, which is calm. And it says, this is calm. It's quiet like the trees. And it's as light as green leaves swaying in the breeze. But what I really love about this book is everything. But it's how it starts. Before we even get to the part where the Color Monster wants to start talking about his different emotions, somebody says, "I will help you." And that is a powerful thing to hear. I have been diagnosed with depression for about 11 years. And every time somebody says to me, I will help you, it is one of the most meaningful things in the world. And I have to tell you that 11 years into therapy, I do pretty good with it as long as I remember to use my tools. So I told you I had this kind of grown-up version. It's called a feelings wheel. You can Google these. You can buy one on Etsy. This is a printout that somebody shipped to me. And it starts on the inside with the basic emotions: happy, sad, disgust, anger, fear, surprise. But I'm a big proponent of getting granular and naming things. As I work with my therapist, as I journal my feelings out, saying I'm sad has some value, but taking it out another level to say I feel abandoned, or I feel depressed, or I feel lonely, there's more power in that. But another level of granularity to say, not only do I feel depressed, but I feel inferior, or I feel empty. I'll go ahead and pass this around so you can take a look at it. But friends, Toastmasters guests, anybody who's given me your ear, thank you for that. And my challenge to you is to speak about your emotions. Find somebody who will say to you, I will help you, and be that person to somebody else. When we all come together, when we all normalize talking about our emotions, experiencing our emotions, having positive mental health, we're going to be better. And please, read the book. Buy it as well. Thank you for your time.